Okay, let's go ahead and take you through some of the dailies here this morning. And we start with Daily Independent. National minimum wage. Governor's absence stalls negotiation as Labour rejects fresh 54,000 naira offer. NLC TUC insists on May 31 deadline to embark on strike. So that is about the latest updates on that minimum wage debacle. And then you move on to New Telegraph. Hardship, chaos looms, life becoming tough for average citizens. ACF warns Tinubu. And then from then on to Nigerian Tribune, tougher times ahead as CBN raises interest rates to 26.25%. CCPC, NECA, analysts decry rate hike. Nigerians facing unbearable times due to your policies, ACF tells Tinubu. And then you get to see Nigerian News Direct. MPC members attribute rising inflationary pressure to food inflation, seek increased security of farming communities, raise interest rates to 26.25%. Of this Nigeria, Nigerians face further hardship as interest rate hits 26.25%. Hike will hurt real sector investment, says Center for Promotion of Private Enterprise. CBN blames high forex rates, others for driving food inflation. But above that, you also have minimum wage. Again, NLC, TUC reject FG's 54,000 naira. Organized labor continues negotiations with FG today. So it's an ongoing matter at the moment. And then The Guardian, MPC outcome, CBN guns for stable currency. FPIs as rates hike hurts businesses. Or Vanguard, inflation battle, CBN raises interest rates to 26.25%. OPS protests. They also report on the minimum wage here. Labour FG meeting ends in deadlock. Well, have a look at Leadership newspaper here today. Fear grips Plateau residents as gunmen kill 50. That's what you see right there. Business Day, manufacturers exports ride weaker naira to 9-year high, triples in 1 year. Or Daily Trust, bandits kill 50, burn houses in Plateau. That's an unfortunate scenario right there. So there you go. That's a look at some of the dailies here this morning. Okay, so there you go. Some of the issues right there. And as always, we always like you to talk to us. And then, you know, what? I got to talk back. Doesn't sound bad. Okay, so look at this. 10 billion naira National Assembly Park recreational facilities misplaced priorities ascribed to Peter Obi, and is urging Labour Party members, that's the New Telegraph, Labour Party members to put Nigeria's interest first. So what? Labour Party members. So the thing is, the lawmakers in the Labour Party, in the National Assembly, do we expect anything different? When the debate about the cars, allowances came through, everybody, you saw what happened. They didn't reach on any of those things. They thought that, what can we do? Almost saying their hands are tied. But let's see what happens with this one. But 10 billion naira National Assembly Park. Look, I'm wondering what will they be parking here, though? Which is part of the question I was also asking. Isn't this outrageous? 10 billion naira? Recreational facilities? Wow. Because in the meantime, you see year-on-year average fuel price is risen by, guess what, 176%. And then diesel is by 68%. Ascribed to the data from the Bureau of Statistics. And so this is in spite of the, you know what they always tell us, diesel is deregulated. Subsidy is now removed for petrol. Is this what we're going to keep facing? Because if it's the vagaries of the dollar, it's always going to go up. It's been going up from inception. Tell me, since you were born, when has it not been going up? So these are some of the things we'll see how we can explore as we proceed here today.
I think I'm going to be taking from the Guardian newspaper, still on politics. We're seeing more on it from page 6, the APC dismissing merger talks as Peter Obi visits the Labour Party secretariat. He's doing a lot of visiting these days, and I was looking at some of the talk points here. Our current interest about Nigeria's survival, not election, said Peter Obi. So I know all of the talk about 2027 is about to get really heated because negotiations have started. There's talk about how the Labour Party should reposition itself, what the All Progressives Congress should be doing, what the PDP should be doing. So all of that's coming up. But more on that story from page 6 of the Guardian newspaper today. And of course, yesterday's MPC meeting and the fallout from that on the front page there.
Is it finally the first time where we hear them say the OPS are protesting? They're protesting that 26.25%. They wonder, what in the world?
That's 150 BPS.
How do you access credit at this rate? It's a death knell.
It almost feels like they don't want you to access credit. And then, of course, this sad story here from Jos in Plateau State, more on it from page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Bandits killing 50 and burning houses in Plateau State. When is this going to end? When is this going to end? The Wase Kanam axis is no longer peaceful, it says. And the police says they've killed 7 of those attackers. But more on that story from page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Very sad situation that we have going on, recurring. This has been going on since I was born. Every single time we hear about these stories from Plateau State, and every time we pray for our brothers and sisters in that state. But the security agencies have to do what's necessary. This has gone on too long. It's becoming really embarrassing.
Kayla, and I'm hoping that everyone who needs to listen is listening right now. I have a very interesting take this morning, guys, on the front page of the Daily Independent newspaper, where the federal government is insisting on that the foreign airlines in Nigeria, it's right above the nameplate, by the way, foreign airlines in Nigeria that are going out of Nigeria should patronize Nigerian catering services. Foreign airlines are being told again to patronize indigenous catering services when operating flight services outside of Nigeria, and this is in compliance with bilateral air service agreement, BASA, that the countries signed with their governments. And I find it very, very interesting, honestly, very, very interesting. So let's also begin from home, I dare say. I don't know for how many times, Chamberlain, we have talked about Nigerians, the government officials, patronizing first homemade indigenous automobile organizations in the country. First, do that first, begin from there. I don't know if there's any policy to that effect, or if there's any move indeed to that effect. Yes, agreed. We may not be able to fully meet our local or domestic needs right now. The same way we are not even able to meet our domestic needs for crude. But can we even begin by calling all the automobile manufacturers or assemblers in Nigeria and saying, we'll patronize you first. Keep Nigerian dollars in Nigeria, Nigerian naira in Nigeria, not having to export the naira via the dollar. Can we begin from there? It was a question that I raised with someone, I don't know which day it was. It was in the 70s when the General Gowon at the time, as head of state, went to commission the Kaduna automobile plant, the Peugeot automobile plant in Kaduna. And there was a policy at the time that Nigerians, government officials, government in particular, should patronize first made in Nigeria vehicles. First. That was the policy at the time. I don't recall any time that that policy was ever changed. I don't recall any time that we decided that, you know what, we're done with this one. Let's go outside of Nigeria. The organizations who are in charge of vehicles, automobiles in Nigeria are crying. Can we at least support them by patronizing them first? And we can say that for every other thing that we do in Nigeria, that we consume in Nigeria. Enough of this patronage. If we do have to tell people who are flying into the country to fly out of the country using domestic or indigenous catering services. Can we do the same? Chamberlain.
Yeah, you know, when the president did say that all new purchases of vehicles by MDAs should be CNG, guys, I think after that, they held a 2-day FEC meeting after that, and I saw in one of those highlights when we put it up, what at the bottom strip, so it was approval for, I think, Toyota vehicles. And I thought, okay, that's an area we need to ask more questions to find out what's going on with that bit. Did it slip in? How did that slip in? Because that directive is already there to ensure it is CNG. And the thing about that, yes, the federal government may have taken that position. What about the states? Because how many vehicles do governments, MDAs at the federal level have to impact sufficiently on, in the scheme of things, in that area, that sector? So if the states were to key into this, you can imagine the kind of impact it will have. So most times the states have also got to be on board most of these policies, because that is where all of these things happen. That's where the people are. So the state governments will look to you. We wait to see, what are you even announcing? What policies do they even have to affect or to at least boost the policies that we see while we're trying to make ends meet here? All right, guys, we'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.